take on last week's edition, the highlights of the conversation we had with the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, in person of Malam Abdullahi Inuwa Kashifu, who gave us a general insight on leveraging on ICT as we face the COVID-19 pandemic. But today we'll move on to the business of the day, which is besides the health implications of the pandemic, measures to check the spread, such as the recently eased lockdown and the ban on social and religious gatherings, have affected many and denied them their livelihood. That's why the federal government and states as well, in their wisdom, have been providing palliatives to Nigerians, especially the poor and the vulnerable. Here in the FCT, such efforts have been massive, with many residents benefiting. Despite these efforts, many residents of the territory are yet to be reached. And of course, they are still basking in the hope, because the number to receive in the FCT has been slated to be 600,000 people. So why is this so? When will they receive theirs? And what is the sharing method and criteria to be a beneficiary of the palliatives here in the FCT? So to speak on this is our guest, the Honorable Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, in person of Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu. Ma'am, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
You were born here in the FCT in Wuse.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's the reason why you were made Minister of State?
Not really, but maybe by divine, grace.
All right, wonderful. We'll get to talk later as
Okay.
we open give our guests, that's the Nigerians, to be part of the conversation. Now, to join the conversation as we are streaming live on www.facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network, or simply Radio Nigeria. Once again, to join us while we stream live, you go to the website www.facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network, or simply just search Radio Nigeria. The lines to call are 0807 622 6771. Once again, the first line 0807 622 6771. The second line is 0705 149 3324. Once again, the second line 0705 149 3324. For SMS and WhatsApp only, sent to 0705 864 2473. Once again, for SMS and WhatsApp only, 0705 864 2473. Now, please note to turn down the volume of your radio set to avoid a holdback. That is when you get across to us, and make your contributions short, straight to the point, at least a minimum of about a minute, or a maximum rather of about a minute. Go straight to the point to enable other callers to reach us, and for our guest to respond as well. Here, there is no preferential treatment. We take calls as they come. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Now, to you, Honorable Minister of State. Now, we understand that the FCT administration just finished the first phase of palliative distributions to vulnerable people in the FCT. What's your overview, your assessment of the exercise? Has it been successful? What has been the response, and what do you expect next?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, to highlight on the journey so far in the palliative distribution. Well, I would call it a success, even though we're still awaiting, reports as they stream in from the civil society organizations and various bodies that contributed, participated in the journey. But so far, so good. We actually arrived at a figure of 600,000 households, not families.
Okay,
600, not persons,
individually.
yeah. 600,000 households. Now, taking into consideration the population of the Federal Capital Territory has captured 6.3 million, with again an estimated 3 million hanging. But now, working on this 6.3 million, we said, okay, take 1/10 of this population and assume are the vulnerable. We give you about 600,000 plus. Now, okay, the 600,000 is staggered by the 6 area councils. Now give us 100,000 per area council. Definitely you should know that 100,000 households per area council does not mean the entire households in the area. Then definitely you have some people say they didn't get here and there. And how did we arrive at the beneficiaries? One, when we looked at what was obtainable within the system, there wasn't an updated social register to be used. So I now called a team and we formed committees to say, okay, let's look at this opportunity of this palliative distribution as an opportunity to be able to update the social register. So let's use the census or the immunization strategy by house marking. So the committee started working and we engaged all the chairmen and stakeholders. Then I sat and came up with this organogram, having a composition that will make it all inclusive. The target is to get the community to own the program. Because when the community drive their own program, then definitely it will be 50% to success.
Okay.
Because they will be the participants in the program.
Okay, so the cooperation from communities
Absolutely.
so far has also helped.
Yes, it helped tremendously. We couldn't have done it alone. So we now engaged them. I had in the community, one, the religious leaders, both Khan and League of Imam. Then we had the royal fathers at each level, down to the ward level. Then we have civil society organizations. We have representatives of the women, market or whatever representative. Then we had representative of the youth. Then we have also the um, people living with disability, all engaged there. We had the code of conduct review that I insisted must be invited to be part of every committee to oversee and be the eye of the government. At least they will be able to trace leakages and block leakages. Okay. Then again, we have the youths, that's the university students as they are still within as volunteers. So you see these committees together with two.
Did we have the media as well?
Yes, okay. The media is one very strong factor. I'm not even calling because they oversee everything. Okay. They are there at each point to report at its seats. Then in each point again, we do have cameramen and video man. And from ward to the unit level, they snap and upload the way it is and what is going on across the 62 wards of the 6 area councils. So in this again, we now have the councillors heading at the ward level. We have the chairman heading at the local government level. Then we have also the ministerial committee. Here again, you have the same structure across. And then now these targets, we now staggered it into 4 phases.
Okay.
To say, okay, 25,000 households.
In the first phase?
In the first phase. 25,000 households per area council gives you a quota. Okay. So 25,000 households per area council, and if you say at least 5 man per household, per family, okay, yeah. We give you about 125,000. Okay. Now we did the 5 area councils at the 25. Then when we came to Amak, we realized it was much larger and densely populated. So it was a special case. We now upgraded it to about 36,000 households targeted. Okay, so yeah. Which also gave us a total of, instead of the 150 we targeted, we now have a total of 161,000 households. So definitely if you are to multiply this by at least 5 members of a family, you have about 805 vulnerable Federal Capital Territory, indigenous or residents that benefited from the first round of the exercise.
805 now?
Thousands.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Persons?
Persons.
Okay, in this case?
Yes, 161,000 households. Oh. So definitely, if you come there now, immediately we finish the first phase, we didn't rest there. We are allowing them to, continue that was distributed. Then we now targeted about the actual number of the people living with disability according to their social register is 3,000. So we engaged them in the old parade ground with all their leaders identified now to take the distribution as is. Okay. Also, we formed committees of people living with disability, the palliative, the COVID-19 response committee. So they, in turn, will also distribute to their own people.
Let's talk about the time frame now. Some Nigerians feel that the process seemed to be too slow. Would you say that there are plans to speed it up, or at the pace you're going is just fine, that you always get to them
Well,
as time passes?
we are doing our best, but if you are dealing with human beings, and if they must exercise their right, if they must be given the freedom to comfort with their figures and numbers, then you must wait for them. You must have the patience. It's not from our own end, but as they come forward, we treat. But so far so good. We have also done the Ruga people. We realize the Ruga communities were exempted for whatever reason from the uh, from the register from the area councils. So we also decided to take on their leaders and put them together. That we also addressed about 1,200 families. Then in under there we have the destitutes now. That's the beggars colony and so on. They also came up with about 3,000, we in number. Then we have the IDPs too. We've given about 3,000. All these are on cameras, on videos. We invite all the stakeholders, civil society, everybody to be there to see as it's been, to witness. And we also have them covered in video. We also have about 1,200 hunters and vigilantes that have been attending and protecting the families or the villagers from the attack of the kidnappers. We have about 200 of them staggered across each area council. Then we have about 36 families of the people that have been infected so far with the COVID-19, pandemic. We have to also look through their own issue. So far, so good. The cooperation we received from Abuja indigents and citizens also contributed and in a long way to this success of the program. But definitely, we are not saying we are infallible.
Yes,
so many other.
in fact, that was taking me to the next question. That
Okay.
what were the challenges you faced in the first phase, and what would be the changes that the changes you make when you move to the next phase?
Yeah. Now we have committees that are looking into the challenges we faced. Namely, now, some people cried out for being omitted. Some also complained of some areas where you have a councillor, for instance, in Gwagwala, the area council, and one in Kuje, that ran away with, allegedly went away with some portion of the palliative that was meant for people.
I see.
So because it's people owned, definitely they have their eyes on everything, and there is no hiding place. So such people now will be invited, as we're also waiting for a report from the Code of Conduct Bureau. There are so many other, steps that must be taken to correct. Again, we had some issues where we had people uploading photos of some rice, some kind of rice in a bag that is bad.
Yes.
Okay, things like that now made us to look introspect, to go back to the stores. We put all the people, we halted the process and started looking through the entire of the bags. Even though we've not been fortunate to get a rice like that, a bag of rice like that, but then we were able to see. You see, in some places, if you remember, maybe for the pandemic, some of these items weren't just bought that day or done that day. We are not manufacturers of rice. But definitely for each complaint they come up with, each warehouse, we know who the supplier is, which company supplied and whose goods were put there. So we look for which company served which area council or which ward. Then definitely if there are complainants and they come up with such things, we've not been able to we got about 2, 3 or so, but not a case like that one they were uploading. It was a case of mixed grains. You see, we are using completely local content. So in some places you'll find a kind of brownish rice.
Okay,
it
yes.
was like a further. Then they mixed it with the other normal rice and stuff. So the person found it odd. And so, things like that, immediately that was replaced. And then we had to trace again if there are such things, because we do not expect. And any such thing, we have told them clearly, just report, relate to the radio stations, or relate to Wazobia or Berekete, or even our call center. Immediately it will be changed for you, and we have to trace who served that area.
Okay, and then get to find out what's
Absolutely.
going on. Okay, let's look at funding now. Over the last 6 weeks, so many well-meaning Nigerians and even organizations came forward to make donations to support Nigerians, to pass through this challenge. How have you been managing funding, and what is the level of, transparency? Some Nigerians are feeling that these monies are just going to, I don't want to say private purses or
Absolutely,
private accounts and so on.
yeah. It's a feeling out there, and they will be right to think like that, except they are enlightened, otherwise. But if you look at the situation, like in the Federal Capital Territory, uh, so far so good. The palliative committee is only in charge of receiving, you know, items,
Items, not
cash.
not cash. Okay,
And
of
where
funds.
we had about 2, 3 offers, of individuals and companies that wanted to donate to, we mandated them to donate through the TSC and bring the check for presentation in the public glare. And we announced and documented the name. So they give them the CBN, slip.
Okay.
So they have this, we have the TSC until we see the credit we accept. So definitely that means cash isn't coming to us. And as for these goods that are coming from well-meaning Nigerians and companies, from captain of industries and so, these goods are also taken in the public lab. We announce for transparency what is being given. The person will confirm what he has brought. Then there are the storekeepers together with the man from the Code of Conduct Bureau and someone from the civil society organization, the directors, and all the team will also identify that and attest that this has been brought. Then the goods will be taken to the store. There is a slip for that. There is a bill of delivery. So when anything is to be taken, but so far so good. In these goods that we are distributing, FCT is purely doing it on its own, not from the goods that is brought. Because most of them, the large size goods, as you can see, we will not be able to separate or divide for now to say we are taking it down until some other phases. And we are able also to identify groups.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Well, listen. Go ahead.
Okay, like the large groups now that weren't captured within the, like that weren't captured in the group we have now. Those are the groups we are now taking the larger items to and identified under public glare. Everybody will sign that this number is being taken, for instance, to the CAN for onward, distribution to its members, to the League of Imam, because in these groups also are very vulnerable people. To the media, then to the athletes. There are different classified groups. Then these are unbranded groups. They are not branded, palliative for the vulnerable. But this, that is the goods that is targeting the 600,000 households in the Federal Capital Territory, you will see it branded. It's a 5 kg bag of rice and 5 kg bag of condiment and 10 kg bag of condiment. And in this 10 kg bag of condiment, you will meet 3 bags of 1 kg semo. That's 3 kg of semo, 3 kg gari, 2 kg beans, 10 sachet of tomato, 1 liter of groundnut oil, sugar, and salt. That is what you will meet in the condiment pack. And that is what is from the Federal Capital Territory. Also, we embarked on the feeding the very vulnerable. There are people that are not even married, and they are in this. Yes.
That's so, not in. It's not an entire household.
No. Yes, those ones. Those ones are being fed with at least 3,000 people per day. We give 1,000 loaves and 3,000 meals of food, cooked food, across the various communities of poor and vulnerable in the Federal Capital Territory.
All right. If you're just joining us, the program is Have Your Say, coming to you live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And we've been speaking with the Honorable Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, in person of Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu. It's now time for us to go for a short break, but before we do, let's give you the phone numbers to be part of the program so you get ready. The lines to call are 0807 622 6771. Once again, 0807 622 6771 and 0705 149 3324. For SMS and WhatsApp only, send to 0705 864 2473. Once again, 0705 864 2473. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
The National Center for Disease Control has informed me that Remind all Nigerians to continue to take responsibility for the recommended measures to prevent transmission, including maintaining physical distancing, good personal hygiene, and staying at home.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. If you're just joining us, the program is Have Your Say, coming to you live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And today we're looking at the efforts at distributing palliatives on the COVID-19 pandemic here in the FCT. And our guest has been the Honorable Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu, who has been giving us insight on efforts by the FCT administration generally. It's now time for us to hear from Nigerians, so you can be part of the program with the numbers we had announced earlier. Let's take our first caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. Hello. You're not very audible. We need you to be louder. Hello.
My name is Abdulrazak Adavizi Maman.
Oh, Abdulrazak Maman.
Adavizi Maman, calling from Galadimawa.
Okay. Please go ahead.
First, I want to commend the effort of the Honorable Minister of State, Hajia Dr. Ramatu Ali, for the commendable work she has been doing. Having said that, I want to reiterate that there are some certain areas that have not been reached. I encourage or enjoy her to do more in her job. But most importantly, I must say that she has been doing a good job.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take a next caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and location, please.
My name is Adamu. I'm calling from Karo.
Adamu what, please?
Adamu Abdul from Karo.
Okay.
Federal Housing.
Okay.
May Allah bless the Honorable Minister. But I have some reservation on how they distribute this thing. I observed the first...
Hello? Hello? Mala Abdul, okay.
I observed her the first day, how she narrating how this thing is going to bring from the councillor, whatever. But my own advice, I think they have to remove politicians in this issue. I live in Federal Housing in Yanya. And in that secondary school near the market, this is why they brought the item, they packed it to various places. But unfortunately, they put some item in some people's car, they went away with it. In Federal Housing, we realized individual went out with those items. Well, there's a people that are supposed to enjoy this thing, they have not enjoyed up to that I'm talking to. The few ones that they just get 2 mudu of rice. That's all. In the small bags, packets, just 2 mudu of rice.
Okay.
So please let us look in that.
Okay, she can hear you. So, she can hear you. She'll respond to this. Do you want to respond?
Yes,
please go ahead before we take the next call.
Even though not a question and answer session, but it's surprising because the package, I made it very clear. The package from the Federal Capital Territory is not in mudus, you are not fetching it.
Oh, okay.
They are together in a bag, sealed. And if they serve you a broken bag, it's not from the Federal Capital Territory. And we must also know that there are individuals, even some councillors are doing their own bit. But the one from the Federal Capital Territory Administration is a sealed bag, I repeat. And if they give you such goods, please snap it, upload. Possibly snap who served you and tell us your ward number and the house address. Definitely will get to you. And where you see them maybe in a school and individuals take it. You have, for instance, in Amak, since he talked about Galadimawa, in Amak, we now considered every terrain had its own peculiarity. In Amak, we now used a different strategy and broke it into 4 components. Then definitely, in that place are representatives, the Igbo chiefs, the Yoruba chiefs, the Hausa chief, the Gbagi chief, and different other organizations we identified. So if they decided in that place to divide it and then give their leaders, then the leaders should be held to account. So where you have such case, easily, just like you spoke now, you give us the details of the place and call the call center. Yeah. Definitely we'll call them. These are the cases we are now taking to revisit before we kickstart the second round of distribution. Corrections will be taken definitely. Thank you very much.
He's listening. That's Adamu Abdul all the way from Cairo. Yes, let's take more calls. Good morning. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello, can you hear us? Please, we need you to be more audible. Hello?
I'm Comrade Martin Patrick.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning,
Calling
Comrade.
from Blue Village in Arochukwu, Abia State.
Yes, good morning, Patrick.
Honorable Minister,
Thank you.
I want to find out what is the present government, your own present regime where you are now. Okay? You see, when you take statistics of houses in Abuja, there are some houses that have been there from January, February, March, April, May, to December. Nobody is inside. And you see people going to cluster in all those rural areas, villages around Abuja. What is the regime doing about such houses? Why I'm asking this question is that if you travel out of this country and go outside, you see, anything like that, there are union, that's our organization that takes care of it. Government has participated with that, the owner of that house and the government. But here in Nigeria, people will come and take money, government money or their own business and do that and leave it for till 5 years. It's nobody that's looking for house. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Honorable Patrick. Let's take more calls. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. We can hear you. Tell us who you are and your location, please, and then go ahead. Hello?
My name is Jibrin Al-Hassan.
Jibrin Al-Hassan, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tungamaji, FCT Abuja.
Tungamaji, please go ahead.
Ibrahim Al-Hassan.
Now, I want to commend the FCT Minister, Dr. Ramatu Ali Tijani.
Yes, she
She's
can hear
doing a
you.
wonderful job.
She can hear you.
I can hear you. Thank
Okay.
you very much, Ibrahim Al-Hassan.
Now, the distribution of the palliatives in Tungamaji went successfully. But the area I want to touch is this. I participated in sharing the palliatives with my community.
Okay, for your community.
What
Yes,
community is that?
Tungamaji.
Okay.
Tungamaji, go ahead.
I said Tungamaji.
Go ahead.
Okay. The palliative given to us, I said, should try, but I want them to try more because the palliative will not go around. As we speak, up to this moment, some are still coming to my house and said, you share palliative, you do not give me. So this is what the government has given to us and we have shared it. So the government has tried, but I want the government to try more for those that cannot see, so that they can afford, they can be able to eat from this palliative. So I commend the FCT Minister, Dr. Ramatu. May God continue to protect you.
All right, thank you.
May God continue to elevate you.
All right, thank you, Jibrin.
Okay, thank you, Jibrin. And again, we received so many of those calls from the Tungamaji, to the call center.
Hello?
Probably the division.
Hello, please hold on for a minute, just very briefly. Go
The
ahead.
Tungamaji ward consisting of the two factions, the much I know, the other side of the Tungamaji and the main Tungamaji, I think is what they did not capture properly. It's not from the administration's problem. It is a problem of the area council submission.
Okay.
We gave Panamerica strength, but we had since taken that into cognizance. And even yesterday, I signed a paper of dispatch of about 100 more palliatives. That's the 100 bags of rice and 100 bags of condiment to such areas, and they will commence that work from tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Jibrin.
All right, let's take
So
more
I think
calls.
it will be good to have your number, please.
Good morning.
Probably he's listening. But
Good
he'll
morning,
get through us. Yes, good morning. We can hear you.
Yes, I'm Yahya calling from Garki.
Okay, Yahya from Garki.
Yes, I want to use this medium to commend and appreciate the Honorable Minister. I think she has been a rampant in the whole. She has been so excellent. I want her to keep it up. It's a good thing. No matter how, when you are dealing with people, there's no way you can be perfect. When it comes to this, palliative distribution, I've come to realize that there are some issues towards the end of the distribution. When the palliative are being given out to the stakeholders,
effort to distribute it downward. Across the down lane, what some of them will do, this issue of indigenship and maybe some people not being indigenship will just come in at the end of the day. When these things are being distributed, you see that some people, when they are supposed to give a particular bag to somebody, maybe that bag will be given to like 4 or 5 persons to share. So we've observed something of that nature, which I believe is not the fault of the FCT or from the Honorable Minister, but I want to advise that there should be a monitoring mechanism, a kind of an M&E mechanism that will monitor all the distribution of all this palliative downward, down to the last person. I think by doing so, it will go, to a large extent of achieving the goal of this of the distribution.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling on the program. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning. It's Ada Una. We're calling from Jos.
Yes. How is Jos?
Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning.
Yes. I don't live in the FCT, but when I watch on television, the way they distributed that of the physically challenged, I was highly impressed. It was packaged just the way she said. And they observed the social distancing, and it was given to them with dignity. I hope it will be like that, the rest. But then what I want to tell to the federal government is that no matter what the package you give to them, if this thing continues, it cannot feed them all through. And then almost everybody will start becoming vulnerable. So the selective giving of palliatives cannot really work. So let the federal government find a way of easing down this lockdown and then provide stimulus packages for SMBs so that the economy will start working again. And then we start observing all the restrictions, and we have to, live with this COVID-19 until we get over it. God bless Nigeria. Let's not give up on Nigeria.
Amen to that. Thank you very much, Ada Nogu. Yes, please. Hello? More calls? Hello? Hello, good morning. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from, and then go ahead.
Good morning. I'm calling from Abaji.
Abaji, okay. Your name, please.
I'm Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad?
Yes, Muhammad. I'm not on radio tape. I'm on Facebook. I just saw the message on Facebook that our landlord, a good representative is on radio station.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. I'm sure you want to say something to her.
Yes, I would like to appreciate our good work, our good doing. And I would like to ask a question more.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, it's about the civil servants areas. So people were complaining that the liability is on chairmen, on local government chairmen. We don't know how far, we don't know if it is true that the money was being allocated to chairman, to local government area council chairman, which it was not paid up to now.
Money is allocated to, is it based on palliatives?
People were distorting the sitting chairmen that the money was being allocated to them, the money was being given to them to pay the workers' areas, the local government areas.
Which areas is this salaries now?
The minimum wage implementation areas.
Okay. Honorable Minister, does this have to do with your office? Is this something you want to respond? Does it have to do with your office?
Well, even though it's a different ball game altogether, that will be taken another time.
Okay.
But definitely.
Please let my question be answered. I was just on Facebook. I'm not related.
Oh, okay. All right. But so today we're looking at palliatives. So I think that should be a matter for another day. Thank you. Hello. 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 Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, please. We can hear you. You need to speak louder.
Okay. My name is Victor Omale.
Victor Omale.
I'm calling from Gariki.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Ramatu Tijani. Even though I did not benefit from the palliative.
Okay.
The reports so far received are quite impressive. The only advice is that she should improve on some areas, especially the unfortunate incident that happened in Buhari Area Council.
Okay.
If that is done, we'll be happy. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Victor Omale. Thank you. All right, Honorable Minister, maybe you want to respond now to calls. Our time is fast spent.
Yeah.
Just general overview on some of the issues raised.
Well, um, definitely there won't be any exercise without its own faults and challenges, especially when it has to do with people, so many participants, so many mindsets. So you have to work on also the psyche of people to embrace, reality. You will see in some places, I went as far as saying if you divert, these palliatives, and you know you do not belong to the vulnerable class, if you eat it, you eat corona, and people were laughing. You see, you just have to find a way of getting them, physically in tandem with the situation of the day. Actually, just like the other lady said, many people are becoming vulnerable. Even though they weren't vulnerable, they aren't vulnerable people at Benisho, but with the citadel, with the lockdown,
the situation.
yeah, they became vulnerable. So they are feeling as eligible as others. But where we prioritized, you see, we now looked at, someone talked about the houses inside town. We were targeting the very old people, as you can see from the videos and the records we have. Some people are just far back in there, feeding from hands to mouth. Those were the major targets. And then definitely with the feedback we are getting from the recipients of these palliatives, but I know much more will be done to reach out to them as we appraise the situation so far. And I would still like to appeal to citizens and indigents of the Federal Capital Territory to please come up with, for instance, that man that complained. He didn't leave the Jibrin. He didn't leave a phone number.
No.
So he could be hearing me now, please. He could give us a phone number.
Okay.
Because such people should be held and be co-opted into, distribution formula. Okay. Now, someone talked about removing politicians from the group. Politicians are just a representative of their own group, and they do have a right. The politicians are represented, both parties, PDP and the APC are the two major parties. Yes, in the Federal Capital Territory. They have a right to belong there. We put the civil society organization, we put the police, we put the civil defense, we put the Navy, so what kind of security and check do we want again? We created a feedback mechanism. We have the photographers and the videographers. They never videoed half meal or it being turned. It will take quite an effort to tear the bag.
Those bags, okay, yes.
And again, for people that were given the bags, come up to tell us your house number, the ward you were served that bag, and we know the team that served. Then for this, I've been saying it on entertainment that for this, for the diversion to be possible, all of them must cooperate in this, which is a little bit difficult.
Okay.
So if you see,
it must involve
everyone, all of them. That means it's a unanimous decision. So they could decide to say, okay, for instance, in the area, in Bori Area Council, where we met a group of over 1,000 youths. So there was a fear of a kind of being leached. They could decide also to say, okay, we are distributing by leaders. So in that case, if a leader again decides to take it, which I don't expect, any responsible leader in that team to behave like that, to take it to his house or put it in his car for onward distribution, they know themselves and they will call themselves. This is community owned, and I'm sure none of the community member will allow the leader rest if he does not give them their share.
Okay, Honorable Minister, let's just take messages from our social media angle platforms, then we'll come back to the discussion because so many issues are on and the messages are quite many. Now we have from Yahaya Wada. He says, with regards to palliative distribution in FCT, I think the minister has done well, but henceforth they should put in place a monitoring mechanism to ensure that some beneficiaries are not shortchanged. The issue of indigenous people trying to deny others is not okay. Mustafa from Abuja, Madam Minister, can you debunk or confirm this? The food distributed as palliatives for the residents of Shika, Lugbe, Abuja, is a dirty rice, tapa rice, and most of the households can't eat it. I got this message from a friend who stays there.
Yes, I think I would like to respond to that.
Go ahead, please.
For each of our rice that went out, for each bag that went out to be served to people, had standard control people, quality control people. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And for each truck that is loaded, you have all the tribal leaders, and before everybody, we use the chuka to at least random sample and pick completely what and from the warehouse too, and even when it's being offloaded. So I think the person talking about Lugbe now, we would like them to come up with such things, and we'll find out where. You see, what is happening is that many other organizations, after we did, the councillor could decide to do. The chairman said he was doing as well. So you must know exactly what rice you are talking about. But for the palliative from the Federal Capital Territory Administration, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take more messages. Oladele from Apo, Abuja says, good morning. What are the measures put in place in Abuja as palliative measures during this pandemic? Oh, we've been discussing that in the last 47 minutes. Nicholas from Apo, Abuja says, I would like clarification on how Abuja has managed to cope with the impacts of the coronavirus, especially as regards social distancing in public places, the use of technology in place of physical gatherings, and if the elites pose more problems than the average citizens to control. This person is talking about social distancing and effort to follow the rules. Abba Aminu says, we are following you. Thank you. Keep following. Nenji James is following from Yenagua. Thank you so much. Jay Collins AK is listening with keen interest. Okay, let's go back and take more calls now. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, this is Bishop Isong from Capital in Edo State.
Bishop Isong, okay. Go ahead, please.
Although I'm not a resident in Abuja, but I've been monitoring some of the distribution of the palliative. And I think I have to commend the effort of the minister that's right there with you. You see, there's never a time somebody can be justified in all ramifications. Even if you put your very best, you may have one or two persons that may try to force it. So I'm using this medium to appeal to the minister that she should not really be wary of some of the citizens. She should accept them as part of her job. Let them continue like that. And I wish all that people can emulate a good person. Thank you. God bless all of you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bishop. She's listening and she's
Thank
nodding.
you. Mm-hmm.
Hello, Hello? Hello, tell us who you are, your location, and go ahead, please.
Yeah. It's me, Jibran Alasan from Tongamadi.
Okay, earlier caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard that you need my number.
Yes, your phone number, please.
My phone number is 070.
Okay.
Yeah. 64.
64.
76.
76.
27.
27.
98.
98.
Yeah.
So the team coming with the palliative to augment for especially the ones that weren't served will reach you shortly.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Very good, Jibrin there. Okay, let's take more calls. Yes, good morning. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from.
Good morning. This is Amechi. I'm calling from Zuba.
Amechi from Zuba.
Yeah, Burkina area of Zuba.
Zuba. Go ahead, please. She can hear you.
Yeah, please, the palliatives came to our area. But it's fortunate to us that they were sharing just one cup of rice and one cup of tea. Of it, so many people didn't collect. Even personally, I myself, I didn't receive it because
a cup of rice.
I didn't know what I would do with one. Yes, as a self speaking. I don't know what I would do with one cup of beef and one cup of rice. That's what they mentioned for us.
Where did they get one cup of rice?
Brought the palliative.
He's talking about
dropped the palliative, half of the palliative, and went away with the other half.
Zuba.
Zuba.
Yeah. Came with the palliative.
Amici, when was this, please?
When
was this? When did this happen?
Okay, this was 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Can you please tell us which area of Zuba he's
Which part of Zuba? Hello?
Gopina, to be precise. Gopina, there's a place called Gopina, a remote area.
Okay, it's a remote area. Burkina.
Yeah,
okay.
Called
So it was your councillor doing the distribution now, or who?
Okay, I don't know about whether you are councillor
because
or not.
I'm saying that the palliative from the Federal Capital Territory Administration is sealed in a bag. Okay. It's not something you can fetch.
Yeah, they brought it that way with the keke, but because of the quantity of the palliative, they have to open the bag and share it so that to reach everybody.
So how do they share this, Emo? How do they share the
Okay.
granite
Yes,
oil?
in that issue of semo, they gave one bag of semo for somebody. If they gave you one cup of rice or of this, they will give you a sachet of tomato and a sachet of that oil. Then if they give you semo, they will not give you any other thing.
That means in that place you did not observe the house to house, door to door kind of exercise. Because wherever they no hold on, was it in your house or in an arena? Because if
where they used to gather, like a gathering place square.
so you can see the fear. What is meant for a household, they now told them to come and assemble maybe in that area out of laziness. They do not want to go into the trenches. Then definitely in one household you might have 20 people come out or line up.
They're from the same household.
Yes.
I'm not to challenge you on your work.
No, I'm not challenging. I'm
thinking.
thinking.
I think the minister has
Yes,
noted
I'm
this
understanding
and
what happened there. Not, and thank you very much for bringing this forward.
Okay, because I was.
Amechi, can we have your number, please?
My number is 080.
Yes, please.
38.
38, please.
91.
91.
01.
01.
86.
86. Please, we'll invite you and invite the people that serve that area. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Amici. Let's take the next call. Hello, good morning. We don't have much time. That will be our last call for the day. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Please go ahead.
I'm Bani Usman calling from Kwagwala area council here in Paikokore.
Okay. Go ahead, please. From Gwagwalada.
About the palliative distribution, especially in Paiko Ward, it is not done fairly because when it is brought to Paiko Ward, what happened was that they call each tribal community leader. What immediately that when it is brought to the community leader house, he first share it to his house first before giving people outside.
The community
there is some people that I know are very old. They were giving one bag per person, and whereby those people that are very healthy youth. A youth that just married just a week, he's given full bag, 2 to 3 bags.
Oh. Okay. What did you call the area again? Where in Gwagwalada?
Paikonkore.
Okay, Paikonkore.
What's your name, please?
Sir?
Hello, your name?
I'm Bani Hassan.
Your phone number?
090
22 33 96. Thank you.
93.
Okay. After 96, you have what? 90?
93.
93. Another 93. Okay. There's a 93 after the 96.
Thank you, Hassan.
All right. Thank you, Hassan, for calling on the program. Let's see if we can take 1 or 2 more calls. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning. Please go ahead. Tell us who you are. Where you're calling from.
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Lugbe.
Sam from Lugbe.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
I want to use this opportunity to praise the Honorable Minister. He's doing a very wonderful job, especially in the area of palliative.
Okay, make it faster. Okay, she can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Hello, please make it quickly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I also, hello?
Hello, go ahead. We can hear you. Make it quickly, please. We have a minute or less.
I also want to use this opportunity to praise his media team. Okay. They are doing a good job for her.
Thank you.
All right.
So I wish him more success.
Thank you very much.
Endeavor.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam from Lugbe. Let's now go to our social media and go to take a few more contributions there. Okay, there's something here from Nicholas from Apo Abuja. He says, I would like clarification on how Abuja has managed to cope with the impacts of COVID-19, especially as regards social. Okay, we've taken that already. We have Adams Bello. He's watching live from Lokoja. Says, well done. Thank you. It's Temi Bryant. Is from Calabar. And Davidson Chidobem Odua watching live from Imo. We have a last one. Jay Collins, AK. He says, why is it that only the North benefits from government-free gifts while the other regions are ignored? Okay, that's a contribution from Jay Collins. As you respond to this, just give us a roundup, general final words for Nigerians and residents of FCT as we close.
Well, taking quickly the J. Collins AK, which says why only the North benefits from government-free gifts while the Southwest, Southeast, and South-South are ignored. As I speak to you, I would also like to speak on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration. One, we are yet to receive any, monetary support or grant or um, 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 support to cushion the effect of the sit at home.
Yes,
Just
we're going
like,
to say something about funding. Please go
yeah.
ahead.
So that takes for them to think it is government that is doing this completely. Your government definitely will serve you better. The Federal Capital Territory took responsibility and decided in its own wisdom to start reaching out to people as much as possible. We aren't even as fortunate as the Lagos that received the 10 billion naira grants. We are yet to receive anything, even though, like proverbial Oliver Twist, we are waiting. We have received the support in kind of the federal government, and we have also received, just like other southwest states, as one of the AP states in the country, we have received 5 trucks of rice, and then we have received also grains from NEMA. Besides this, we are yet to receive the monetary support. We are also hopeful that we will get. Okay, so we are hopeful and waiting. But now, so far, so good. It is the Federal Capital Territory Administration, just like other states, are struggling to reach out to their people. It is the efforts that is also trying to reach the people of the Federal Capital Territory, not government supporting the North or the South.
All right,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was the Honorable Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in person of Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu. We hope you respond next time we can call him.
Yes, certainly.
We wish to thank the production crew in person of the news producers, Conrad Lavi and Hassan Hussein, online editors. Editor was Timothy Bamidele. ICT was handled by Israel Tiokaha. Studio managers were Prince Afonia Ugweze and Usman Mohammed. Engineer was Hassan Usman. Photographer was Sadiq Saromi. Cameras were handled by Fuluwa Oloyede and Chinedu Mmegwa. Facilitator was Oluwa Damilola Oni. Producer Oledo Mbiwe. The executive producer Sani Suleiman. And not to forget, special thanks to the Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria in person of Mansur Liman. I am Olayemi Daniel saying join us next time. Stay safe. COVID-19 is a respecter of no man. Join us next time. Goodbye.